Welcome to A Culture Conversation. I'm your host, Twingq. We're back in the HQ here in Toronto. It's good to be back on set. We got a special guest with us today, somebody that's been creating a robust brand in the barber industry, an entrepreneur who also plays professional basketball. My good brother, Jaylen. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What up?
Good to see you, man. It's been a minute we tapped in. It's good that you actually got to come out today. Thank you for joining us. So we just wanted to check in. How you been doing, bro?
Been good. Just super busy, man. Just all over the place right now, but good busy for sure.
Yeah, I seen you were at your old high school last week. Just tell me about that experience, kind of going back and watching some of the youth play.
Oh, man, it was dope for that to be at my old high school and for me to go over there and talk to the kids, give them some inspiration. It was great. I mean, it's an indescribable feeling to be able to just give back to the same community that I came up in.
Yeah, man, we talk about it a lot. I feel like, especially our generation, seeing a lot of the older guys kind of go back down and assist the generation is something that's underlooked. So I guess for you now being able to be in a space where you're using your platform to speak to a lot of the youth, how does that feel to you? Like, what's that sense of responsibility like?
I definitely feel like I have a responsibility to be doing that. I feel like anybody that's doing anything or had any success should definitely go give back to the kids, for sure, because all it takes is a little inspiration for these kids, have something to look forward to every day when they're waking up, going to school. And so I'm just trying to be that person to, inspire.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of different because when we were coming up, obviously, you and I kind of grew up in, the same time frame in the same communities, obviously, back at the Scarborough Y. But just, I guess, talk about the generational shift now where, we're kind of like the OGs or the leaders now where the kids are looking up to us.
So for us, I feel like we were just figuring it out, on the fly, just going day by day, just figuring it out, learning on our own. So I'm trying to, give back so that the kids don't make the same mistakes maybe we would have made, you know what I mean? So, and also just give them more inspiration. We had inspiration, but we had to go watch TV, search things up on the internet. But if they could see it with their two eyes and see this guy did it and this is where I want to be, it's perfect.
Yeah, and I think even in basketball now we see even the growth with Canada basketball, even the infrastructure. You obviously know, being a member of the Team Canada, the men's national team, but we see a lot of these guys now having an opportunity to get into the league or have training and opportunities to further their career, right? And it kind of speaks to, like you said, the shift with the generation. So for you being able to play for Team Canada, what was that like for you as a lifelong childhood dream?
Man, exactly. So that was definitely a lifelong dream for me to put on that jersey with Canada on it with my last name on the back. So, man, an undescribable feeling, to be honest, especially the fact that we played Brazil in the first game. So, my experience was just amazing, to be honest. I don't even have the words. I just remember how I felt in that moment.
Yeah,
in that first game, but it's definitely great. I'm definitely grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, so kind of rewind back to that moment when you knew you were going to be selected, or what was that like when you got that?
I had no clue I was going to be selected. It was after the CBL season with the Niagara River Lions. I think I was actually cutting hair at the time, and Coach Meeks called me. And I was busy, so I was like, I'm going to call you right back. But I thought he was just calling me to cut the kids' hair or cut the kids from Team Canada or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I called him back, and he was like, we've been watching you for the last 2 years. We want to invite you to training camp. And I was like, really? Okay. So once I got that invite, I was like, there's no way I'm not making this team. Because I was locked in. You know what I mean? So I was able to play well enough to get on the team.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy. I spoke, we had Mully was on the podcast as well. He talked about his experience, his personal experience with Team Canada and him being able to play with a lot of those NBA guys. So, he kind of used that opportunity to kind of put more fuel into his fire with his career, and kind of gave him that sense of confidence. So what did that do for your game, and knowing that you can kind of share the court with NBA guys?
For me, it's just like a bucket list thing for me. It's just, like you said, it was just a childhood dream. So for me to get there, it definitely gave me the confidence to know that I could play at a high level. But I think I had that confidence from before. But it's just really just getting that opportunity to actually go out and do it. And really play for Team Canada was just like a sense of I did it,
Yeah, bro, and it's it's crazy because we look back to like our generation, a lot of the kids that didn't or just are still hooping now. Like you already know, I always tell you like, for you to be like still hooping at this level, and then now you're in the business realm. Like I don't know how you do it, bro. You know what I mean? But it's good to see that like you're still at it, pursuing your dreams, bro. Like from the YMCA to Canada basketball, bro. And
From the YMCA to Canada
I
basketball.
feel like I've been there for like different stages of your journey, from like, you know, high school and stuff like that. So I guess for a lot of the people that may not know your story, like what was that like? Like what was your high school experience like, and being able to now get a scholarship in D1 and stuff like that? Like what was that process like?
Like you said, it's been a long journey, you know, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hard work. Yeah, I started in Scarborough, just going to the YMCA just because we had nothing to do, just playing ball, hooping. I moved to Ajax in 8th grade, so I went to J. Clark Richardson. That was my home school, and there wasn't a basketball school at the time when we went there, but we had a squad. Like we were ranked number 1 for a little while in the whole of Ontario. It was us and Vaughan. We were toggling for the number 1 spot.
With Wiggins.
This one Andrew Wiggins was at Vaughan.
Damn.
They had a really good team. So just being in that environment, and all those guys were older than me, the guys that were kind of running the team, being in that environment, so that when they left, in my 5th year now, so that was my team. That was time for me to rock out and show what I could do. So in that 5th year, I kind of had a breakout year. So I wasn't really like a highly recruited player, but in that 5th year, I definitely turned some heads, and I was able to get a scholarship after that year.
Yeah, and like obviously it's March, so we gotta definitely speak about a lot of the March Madness stuff. But like when you see the evolution of the NCAA, like what are some things that you wish you could have had an opportunity to do? Now we see the transfer portal being a big thing, where you can transfer and play right away, or the NIL deals where you're not really a starving college artist or college player. You can actually get paid while you're in college, you know?
For sure, yeah, it's dope. It's dope just to see how it's like just they're looking out more so for the players now. It's not just the NCAA, so it's dope to see that. For me, I was financially pretty good because I was cutting hair in school. You know what I mean? I took my business to Kentucky. I had a barber shop in my basement. So I was good, so I wasn't really worried about making extra money or the NIL at that point. But yeah, man, just that experience as a whole was crazy.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, like being in Kentucky. Obviously, Kentucky Wildcats is historical powerhouse in the NCAA. You actually got a chance to play against them twice. So what were some of those battles like?
So the first year we played Kentucky, I was telling you this earlier, they had the tallest lineup in the NBA. Damn. So if you take that Kentucky team and put them in the NBA, they're the tallest lineup. So if I can remember their starting 5 correctly, it was the Harrison twins at the 1 and the 2. And then they had Alex Poitras at the 3, Carl Towns at the 4, and then Willie Cauley-Stein at the 5.
Damn.
So there's 2 7-footers on that lineup.
Yep.
And then the Harrison brothers are both 6'6" at the 1 and 2. So yeah, that experience, just being on the court with that team, and then Devin Booker off the bench,
which is an NBA All-Star.
So being on the court with that team was crazy. Sold out crowd. Rupp Arena was pretty much sold out every game. And then the second year we played them, that's when they had Tyler Ulis, Isaiah Briscoe, and Jamal Murray. So,
another NBA standout. So how far is Lexington, Kentucky from where your school is?
25 minutes away.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
we used to go there all the time. We used to go party in Lexington all the time.
Yeah.
The UK guys would come to Richmond. That's where my school was at.
Okay.
They would come to us. So
Damn.
yeah, it was dope being that close.
Yeah, and getting a chance to play against a Hall of Fame coach in Calipari. What was that like, seeing him on the sideline when you were playing?
It was surreal. That whole experience, just being there for 4 years, it was surreal, the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess, so what is some advice that you can give to some of the younger kids? I know because of the transfer portal, a lot of kids are going to have a harder time of getting D1 scholarships because coaches are just going right to the portal.
Yeah.
So what are some different like ways kids can kind of stand out as recruits that want to have a career of playing in D1?
Well, first of all, like at this point, I don't even think you have to go D1 to like be a pro. There's so many different opportunities now. There's so many different leagues, and there's so many avenues to get paid. That's the ultimate goal, to get paid to play basketball. But in terms of D1, man, just if you're doing what you gotta do, if you're putting in the work, I think they'll find you. You know what I mean? Like for me, I wasn't recruited for my first 4 years. It just took one season, have a breakout season and really lock in. And that's how I got my scholarship. So you don't have to be like heavily or highly recruited. You just got to be putting in that work consistently.
Yeah, another thing I want to say is obviously there's just big like fascination with kids going to high major programs, but they're not really playing. So talk about the luxury you had of playing at like a smaller school at the time, but became a powerhouse with, you know, obviously some of the players that are playing in the NBA. So just talk about like the OVC at the time and what that league was like.
That league was tough. Like, I think all levels at the Division I level, like no matter if it's high major, mid major, low major, like there's hoopers in all three of those categories. So for me, I was at like a mid major school, you would say, but we had guys like Mroant was in the OVC. I didn't play against him, so Mroant was at Murray State in the same conference as me. Payne, who I got to play against at Murray State as well, and who was the third guy? I told you earlier.
Oh, Isiah Cannon?
Isiah Cannon.
Oh.
So my freshman year playing against Murray State, that was the first time I was actually starstruck as a Division I player.
Yeah.
I was watching Isiah Cannon like go crazy against us. I think he had 30 in the OVC tournament. I was like, this guy's nice.
Yeah, he was a first rounder?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was a first rounder.
Okay.
Pretty sure, but he played in the league for a little bit.
Damn, that's crazy. So now we're in obviously March Madness. Have you been watching some of the games?
Not as much as I want to, but I definitely been tapped in, especially the Canadians.
Yeah, what do you think of the predictions? Who are some of the teams you want to see make a good run?
I'm rooting for the Canadians, so I want to see Marcus Carr go as far as possible, and also Ryan Nemard.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, he just had 30.
Yeah, big time game. Creighton and Baylor was.
And Alabama.
Oh,
I like them too.
Yeah, they got their coach used to be at Nate Oates. He used to be at Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then even a funny story, Tobin Anderson, the coach of Farley Dickinson University, he was a D2 coach at the time, and I guess he had one of the best Division II program like out in the country at the time. And before he got his D1 shot, he just kept on reaching out to different schools and trying to give them an opportunity. So it was good to see now that he took a team to the tournament. Yeah. They had an upset. I know they lost just last on the weekend to Florida Atlantic, but it's kind of good to see. I guess with the tournament, I love to see a lot of the underdog teams kind of come through.
1,000%.
Yeah, I seen Kentucky. They took a big loss to Kansas State the other day.
Oh, I didn't even watch that game, really?
Yeah, they lost. They lost the last kind of 4 minutes of the game. Kansas State went on a crazy run, hit 2 back-to-back threes, and it was over.
Madness.
Yeah, for sure,
March
bro.
Madness.
So who's going to be your Final Four picks if we're going right now?
Final Four, Alabama, Texas, UCLA. Who else? I'm going to say Creighton.
Yeah, for sure, the Canadians. Yeah, if I'm going to pick up, definitely, I'm going to go Kansas State. I'm going to go with Kansas State. UCLA, I'm going to get there from the Pac-12. They're really well coached. They play up-tempo. Man, that's tough.
It's hard to call it.
Yeah.
All the upsets that happened already, it's hard to call it.
Yeah, I could say my sleeper, I'll probably put Florida Atlantic in there. And then, I'll put Texas, too. We're going to have to see how that pans out, bro. Because my bracket's already busted. I don't know about you, bro.
I got Alabama winning. So that's the only thing that's going well right now. I got Bama winning.
Yeah, they got a great team and good coach. So now I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the current culture of the NBA. Obviously, you watch the NBA pretty much. But what do you think about, the whole stuff with like load management, players sitting out,
See, I'm a guy that I kind of understand it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like people pay big money to go see the best players in the world play, but at the same time, basketball is a business. You know what I mean? The guys at the higher up are treating these players like it's a business. So it's only right for the players to protect themselves and protect their money, protect their families. These guys they're trying to create generational wealth, right? So. For them sitting out, if that could prolong the career a little bit more, make more money, and take care of their family, I want to see the best players play, but I understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel, and I agree with what you're saying. I think it kind of sucks when you are in a fan perspective because you play basketball, you understand the business side, but as a fan, when you're paying thousands of dollars to see your favorite player and then they're not playing, it kind of falls back on the organization, right? We
Yeah.
talk about false advertisement and stuff like that. The NBA markets a specific type of player game their product to its consumers. So I have a problem with a lot of the guys that can play and that are not playing.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That's
if you can play,
exactly.
then don't play. But if you're like battling through injuries like
Yeah.
guys used to do back in the day, then I could understand because you're shortening your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think the NBA should consider like shortening the season?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
They play a lot of games, especially because I'm cutting a lot of these guys' hair, and I'm just really seeing like how much they're on the road and how much time they actually spend at home. And they're barely home.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're always on the road for how long is it? 8 months out of the
Yeah.
year?
So 41 games on the road.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The schedule's crazy.
Yeah.
But they get paid a lot of money at the same time, so it's like
Casualties of being a professional athlete,
Yeah.
bro. What did you think about the All-Star game?
it was bad.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I know
That's
that.
probably the worst All-Star game I ever watched
Yeah.
in my life.
What do you think? Obviously, like I said, I don't like to compare, but when we were growing up, obviously we got to see the real stars actually compete at a high level. Guys were going back and forth. AI, Kobe, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, all these other stars. But I feel like it lost its competitive juice in the All-Star game, man.
Yeah.
What are some ways you think we can see that competitiveness back in the NBA All-Star game?
I don't know what they could do, but there's a difference between playing, like, making sure that you don't get injured and just not playing hard at all. You know what I mean? Like, these guys aren't even playing hard. They're not playing any defense. Guys are, like, running away from whoever has the ball to let them dunk. Like, that's weird. But, yeah, I don't know. They got to figure something out because, like you said, back in the day, like, these guys are going at it. You know what I mean? Like, it should be a high-level game with the best players in the world at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know a couple guys were injured. Obviously, Kevin Durant didn't play. I think was Curry injured as well.
Yeah, Curry didn't play.
Yeah, and then Giannis played for 2 minutes, which I thought was a waste. But I guess if we look at restructuring the way it is by making it East and West, do you think it makes it more competitive that way?
To be honest, I don't. Because guys aren't, like, loyal to which side they're playing on. You know what I mean? Whether it's the East or the West. They want to win a championship at the end of the day with their team. So maybe if they wear their team's jerseys, maybe they'll feel like they're representing their team. I don't know. But the East-West thing, I don't think that would really change anything.
I think if I'm the commissioner, I would add an incentive or, the winning team, the captain of the winning team gets home court in the playoffs. They talked about trying different ways
that's a good
to
idea.
incentivize the players to actually compete and play hard, which I feel is crazy because I feel like when you're getting paid a specific dollar figure as an athlete, you should be competing because it's your profession, right?
Sure, but I don't know if you could penalize a team or because there's only 1 or 2 players that might be representing that team in the All-Star game. So if they say they lose and they lose home court advantage, like that's kind of weird to go back to your team and be like, we're not at home because All-Star weekend.
Yeah, the NBA got to look at different ways to kind of make it work, bro. But I think, like I said, I kind of like this whole culture of the NBA. I heard Damian Lillard say it, man. Like it's kind of taking the fun out of the game, where guys are not competing, guys are sitting out. This load management stuff is really questioning like who's really durable. I think like the one thing that I like about some of the players is for them to actually be available. I think LeBron James is a great example. Like we really glorify LeBron because he's consistent, longevity. He's never injured. Granted, now he's in his 20th season, but like being able to play at a high level for a long period of time. Shout out to Kawhi, but Kawhi don't really be playing. He don't really be playing.
Like, I don't agree with what Kawhi's doing.
Yeah.
I feel like he can play. He just wants to be like 110%.
Yeah.
Stepping on that court.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Yeah, so I wanted to take a turn into a little bit of business talk, man. You're doing your thing, JBH Fresh. You already know, got to support.
Yes, sir.
But just kind of speak a little bit about that path to entrepreneurship. Obviously, playing basketball and having a skill that's recession-proof. how did that kind of formulate what you got going on with JBH?
So yeah, a lot of people don't know, but I started cutting hair when I was 12 years old. So it's something I've been doing. It's not something I just randomly wanted to start. I kind of grew up doing it. It was like a family tradition for me. But yeah, so I started cutting at 12. I was always a basketball player, but I always kind of had like a business mind. Like I was always fascinated with like business, like businessmen walking around with briefcases. Like I always felt like those people had the most money. So it was always an interest for me. Yeah, and then when I got a scholarship to East Kentucky, I learned a lot more about business, and I was actually talking to one of my professors, and he was like, you need to incorporate this, you need to turn it into a real brand, and that's what I did in Kentucky, and it kind of just kept growing organically. Like as I was playing basketball, I was developing new relationships with high-level players, and that's obviously good for your brand, and started when I was 12, so I'm at the point where I could deliver a high-level service at the same time. So, yeah, it's been a journey, and it's definitely come a long way. JBH Fresh is just the beginning. There's a lot more coming for sure.
Yeah, man, I seen, I guess, some of the infancy stages, obviously tapping back in with you earlier I think in the pandemic, but actually kind of seeing, you know, you on the ground, foundational stages of building your brand and, you know, getting outside and outreaching and networking, man. So it's kind of good to kind of see, also giving back now to the community. You're doing a lot of speaking engagements, like I mentioned earlier. So I guess, how are you able to balance building a brand while playing professional basketball at a high level? Like you're playing on Team Canada and stuff like that. So what is like a day in the life for JBH?
Day in the life of JBH is crazy. There's a lot going on, but the main thing is just time management and really like planning out my days so that I can be consistent. If I don't plan out my days, then I'm not gonna get anything done because I have so much going on in my head and so many places that I need to be at. So a day in the life would probably be, I try to start my mornings with basketball and working out, whether it's in the gym, whether it's yoga, whether it's lifting. So I try to start my day with that. And depending on my appointments, I try to get my appointments in early as well. So I'll probably be cutting hair like from 12 to about maybe 4 o'clock. Like this is what I want, you know, it varies.
Yep.
And then after that, like then I gotta do office work, you know. When you're running a business, you got about 100 jobs, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Media, website, you know, talking to different manufacturers. And then you gotta take care of your body, so I'm always cooking. I'm not a guy that likes to eat out, so I gotta set time to like make food and meal prep. And yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I do a lot in a day for sure. I need more hours than 24.
Yeah, man. Seems like you need an assistant or two.
1,000%, I definitely do.
Yeah, well, I guess obviously what you've been doing has been working, but when we look at expansion or I guess for the future of your brand, what are some things that come to mind?
So right now, the beard product line is doing really well. So I'm definitely trying to expand that, get it into some barbershops, get it to some barbers to sell, and even get into some stores, some high level stores. In terms of cutting hair, I think I'm just going with the flow. Like my talent is just taking me places that I didn't even know I could go. You know what I mean? So just keep networking and just. Everybody knows at this point that I'm highly skilled at it, so at this point it's just building more relationships and networking and getting it out there more.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that earlier. Now, obviously, in the time frame that we're in with the beautician industry and hairstyling, I think a haircut is so much more of an experience or a gateway to networking. So, you know, now that you're working alongside some of, you know, the NBA's brightest stars, what is that like now that you're kind of tapping into that market?
Oh, it's great. So I'm a basketball player too, so it goes hand in hand. So now that I'm able to cut NBA players and develop relationships with them, it's organic, you know, because I'm literally one of them. So they have a guy cutting their hair that they could really relate to on a deeper level. And in terms of it being an experience more so than just a cut, that's my slogan. So my slogan is more than a cut. And just as I've kind of came up in this industry, I'm learning that it really is way deeper than just a haircut. You know, like the conversations you're having, the way you're making people feel, getting them ready for certain events, weddings, birthdays. I've been invited to weddings. You know what I mean? So it's definitely more than the cut, and I cherish the relationship building for sure. Like the relationships I'm able to build with my brand is probably the most important thing to me.
Yeah. So speak about one of your experiences with, like, I guess, one of your memorable clients. What are some things that kind of bring you to your feet? Like, damn, I'm actually really making a difference through my haircuts.
I have a lot of those experiences, to be honest. A lot. I'll start with, first of all, cutting kids. Just that feeling is crazy. Like, I had a kid come in and get a cut the other day, and he was like, he just loved the experience. Like, he wanted to get his hair cut, like, in the next 2 days, his mom said. Like, so for a kid to understand, like, that experience means more than just getting the haircut is just crazy to me to, like, just think about, because you're really young, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you to understand that on that level is crazy. So that, and then obviously cutting the NBA guys is always dope, going to see, like, their condos and these, going to the Ritz-Carlton to cut hair, like, just feeling luxurious, super dope.
Yeah, no, for sure. You get, like, best of both worlds, I guess. You get to, serve, the youth, but also get to see that, like, lifestyle of a professional. Obviously, you being a professional, so you could kind of relate.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my next question I wanted to get into, I know there's a lot of talk about the value of haircuts. So, what do you think the standard price should be for a barber?
The standard price for a barber?
Yeah, for today's time.
It depends on what service you're giving. You know what I mean? You asked me earlier, if it's a wedding cut, if it's my wedding day, and I want, like, the works, I want everything, hot towel, massages, making sure there's beard oils, my hair is moisturized, and everything looking my best. I'm not gonna lie, that's worth, like, at least $120 for that cut, and that's them coming to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or me going to get that cut.
Yeah.
A house call now, getting that same experience, I would pay for that experience, and them coming to me, the barber coming to me, I would pay no less than $160.
Okay.
So
around that. So for just a regular cut, like, you go into a shop, what is the industry standard now? Obviously, you being in the space, so what do you think is the industry standard for just walking into a shop and just getting a wave cut, which you used to call it growing up?
Are you getting products in there?
No, just a wave cut, regular
just
cut.
A wave cut.
Yeah.
Beard?
No beard.
No beard. Wave
facial
cut.
facial hair, but no beard. So just like a little goatee or mustache.
See, that's the thing, though. So if it was me and somebody was coming for a wave cut, I would have to do all the extra stuff. You know what I mean? I have to make sure your waves are laid right. I have to make sure I put the do-rag on before I line it up. Like, little things like that, like, I'm going to do regardless. So that's increasing the value of the service. You know what I mean? So for me, I think it's no less than $60 for that with no beard.
Yeah, and I feel like now, like I said before, right, like, the nuances of, like, hairstyling, with, like, grooming and, washing your hair a certain way, these are all things that increase the value of the service. So I do think that there's an influx on the pricing. Back in the day, we didn't really know.
Yeah.
We were just getting a lineup,
Facts.
1-2 brush, and we were good, but, like, times are changing.
Times are different now.
Times are definitely changing with the industry as it's continuing to grow. Like,
Exactly.
It depends also who you're servicing. You might service, like you say, high-end NBA players where their pay gap or their tax bracket is a little bit higher, so they have a higher propensity to spend that money. But, when you're working with different clientele, like, it might be a little different. So I guess for you, how do you kind of gauge that with, like, different audiences that you're serving?
I try to look out when I can. Like, if I know somebody doesn't have the means to pay a certain amount, if the price is too high, like, I'll try to look out as much as I can. But I don't change my prices for different types of people. Like, my price is my price.
Yeah.
But when I can, like I said, I'll definitely try to look out. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
without bringing my price down to, like, lower the value of my service that I worked at since I was 12 years old. You know
For
what I mean?
sure. I get you 100%. So I was going to ask you some personal questions now. So if you could have 3 people that you would cut, Like it'd be any people, like NBA athletes, public figures, leaders. Like who are some guys that you want to cut?
3 people that I could cut. Number 1, I'll go Bron.
LeBron.
Bron.
You gonna revive
only
that?
for the cut, just for the conversation, you know.
Okay.
Just chop it up with him for sure. Chop it up with greatness. Kevin Hart.
Ooh, that's
Kevin
a big
Hart.
one.
I always notice he always has a fresh cut.
Yeah, his
Shout
lineup
out
is
to
sharp.
Kevin Hart's Barber, whoever he is, he's tough. So Kevin Hart for sure. I know he'll give me hella jokes in the chair. You know what I mean? It'll be a dope experience. Third person. Third person, I'd have to go. I'm trying to think of a rapper. I'd have to go Jay-Z.
Ooh, that's tough.
I'd have to go Jay-Z.
He got dreads now though.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have
give him a lineup.
You have to
There's
give
always
him.
something.
Okay,
Always something you
okay,
can do.
okay.
Give him a little lineup. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's more in the cut.
Yeah, more the networking.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what's up. I guess what's your favorite cut to give a client?
My favorite cut? I'd probably say a low bald fade. A low bald fade because it's one of the tougher cuts. So if I see somebody walking around with a low bald fade, like you could tell if that barber is nice because it's one of the tougher cuts to do.
Okay. Are you Andis or are you going with the wall?
Anderson Wall. I got different tools or different brands for different things. So right now, the babyless liner.
Babyless.
That's the go-to right now for sure. The gold babyless liner. My whole clipper set is gold. But in terms of my fader, my favorite fader is the Andis Masters Gold Edition.
Yeah, we kind of grew up on the T liner.
Yeah, the T liner, I threw that out.
Oh, you gotta let that go?
The T liner is out of there. The babyless took over.
Okay. Yeah. So you said I guess for you, what was your most influential cut that you got growing up?
My most influential cut that somebody
gave to you?
Gave to me?
Yeah, like your barber.
I would say probably my dad, to be honest. Yeah, my dad was probably the most influential cut just because seeing that he's doing it made me feel like I can too, you know what I mean? Yeah, I never really grew up going to that many barbers, to be honest, because like I said, I started when I was 12.
Yeah.
So I can't really remember going to too many barbers other than it being my dad.
Yeah, and I think the best thing that we see now is like you have an opportunity to own up space that you created, right? Like I think I'm very big on supporting not only our friends' brands, but like, you know, just helping them create an ecosystem where the black dollar can circulate. So just kind of talk about the importance of you being a black barber in the space and being able to create that for yourself.
I definitely think it's bigger than myself, for sure. It's not only about me. Definitely doing it for my people, doing it for my family. That's why I'm so focused on the foundation of everything I'm doing right now. Like, I'm living below my means right now because I'm building that foundation as strong as possible so that the building could grow higher. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it means a lot. So, like I said, just trying to build because I know it's bigger than me. You know?
For sure, man. Well, like I said, bro, it's been, you know, a pleasure to see the ethos of your brand throughout the years, to see you still hooping at a high level, and to build a recession-proof business, bro, has been, you know, inspiration for me, you know, as a brother, seeing it and seeing how much work you put into your craft and your business, bro. So, you know, continue doing what you're doing, brother. And like I said, everybody tap in, JBH Fresh. We're checking out here with the Culture Conversation, episode 7. Everybody subscribe to our channel. We're going to have a next episode coming out soon. All right, check it out. Peace.